You understand what I'm saying? So that one thing you can guarantee, if you got a prophecy or prophetic word or prevailing word over your life, Satan is always looking for a way for you to accept his route to bring to fulfillment what God has said. It looks like what God has said. If it bait ain't bait, if it don't look attractive. Satan offered Jesus what God said he's supposed to have. Without a process, without a cross, and without all the negative connotations associated with his assignment. Listen to me. There are certain things you're just going to have to go through. Tell your neighbor, and there is no shortcut. You want to know the longest route between two places? A shortcut. I understand what I'm saying? Y'all getting that? It's amazing to me, people who have prophetic destiny. Dude, for real, have prophetic destiny. But doing everything they can to avoid interpersonal relationship on the way up. And like I've said recently, some of you heard this before. You know, you can get in a room with God and you get in there praying and fasting. You get in there calling on the name of the Lord. You get in there saturating yourself in the glory. You get in there, oh God, you get in there doing all that. And you mess around, you can discover your gifts there. You start having dreams and visions and revelations from the Lord, and they will be right on target and right on point. Because you can find your gifts in isolation. But you don't realize that your character cannot be refined except for in congregation. Because you really don't know what you are until you have to deal with me. Tell your neighbor, you don't know what you're capable of until you have to deal with me. Come on, tell somebody, you don't know what you're capable of until I try you. Come on, tell 3 people, abstinence is not deliverance. And there are some things that you're abstaining from because you ain't in the hood no more. But I'm telling you, when church won't try you, you will find out that karate kid is still up. And come out and have to deal with people and realize you ain't like them at all. Y'all got that? Somebody shout process. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and what I'm learning is that most people don't want to go through the process of that transformation of mind where I begin to think about you the way Jesus does. Now I got to get through a whole lot of junk in my mind to get to that. Oh, come on now. First thing I got to do is stop bringing my gun to church. Right? I'm just saying, you got to remove certain temptations because it is readily available. Right? Got to stop carrying that switchblade in your purse. Right? When somebody tells you got to put it away, Lord. He said, put away certain things. Right? Tell you that, get them nunchucks out of your purse, right? Some right now got brass knuckles, right? And you get it out, right? See, the first thing you gotta do is remove the temptation to act ghetto fabulous again, once again. But you'll find out through interpersonal relationship, you'll find out very quickly when certain things and certain people happen, we ain't like it. We just ain't like it. And that's the process. Because I'm going to show you something. God is more interested, listen, God is more interested in manifesting his person in you than his promise to you. Tell you that he's interested in likeness. Listen, and he will let you wait when you are delaying the process of becoming like him. God don't care how long it takes. God don't care how long it takes. He's not moved by time. He's not. He already told you that he'll give you the years that the cankerworm and the locust and the palmer worm, how did they get a hold of it? Look, somebody tell you gave it to them. Mess around that foolish stuff. Trying to hang on to a likeness that ain't like him. Trying to have your way. Trying to circumvent processes. Trying to use people. You come on, you gave it to the palmer worm. It's one thing for the cankerworm to eat it. It's another for Look, somebody tell them, don't feed the beast. Tell somebody, don't feed the beast. And don't act like every one of us don't have a beast. And if you feed that brass monkey, if you reach your neighbor, you want to put a sign on your neck saying, don't feed the beast. Listen, whatever nature you feed will prevail. Born again or not, whatever nature you feed will prevail. If you feed that old man, that old sick appetite of foolish stuff, that old man will prevail. And the new nature, even though it is your positional reality, is you're made like Christ, you'll never see it in your outer life because you ain't feeding your spirit man. You gotta learn to hear my voice. You gotta learn to follow the inclinations and inspirations of my spirit. As many as are led by the Spirit of God. What are they? The sons of God. So the first thing you got to learn is, God help me. There are so many people trying to discover things about God and things about the realm of the Spirit who have never even learned the leadership of the Holy Ghost. He said, follow me, not those I'm using. He said, follow me. So now watch this now. So if you don't understand that one of the first works of manifesting purpose is you got to learn His leadership in your life.
That's right.
So that those you connect to who have a legitimate assignment, you are following them as they follow Christ.
That's right. That's right.
So now they've got no room to get improper with you at any level because you're only following me as I follow Christ. But you're following Christ. And I happen to be doing the same where you're going with some instructions about your life. Now you understand what I'm saying, believers? Somebody shall follow me.
Follow me.
So now watch this now. So when we first have to learn, believers, in the process of discovering purpose, we've got to learn to follow the leadership of the Lord in the way we live our lives. See? Follow me. That's what He says. Now we got to lead signs. Shares. 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 Because the first voice people are supposed to learn to discern and depend upon is the voice of the Spirit. That's what people need to learn. And the great majority of those who are saved still don't know His voice. They don't know how to follow His voice. They don't know how to follow His leadership in their lives. And there are certain things that you have to care more about people than your prophetic acts. I understand. Say, follow me. Follow me. Not what I assigned you to do. Forget about the whole fishes of men concept. Me first. Follow the assignment, not after your assignment. You follow the assigner, you'll run into your assignment. That's a work all by itself. That's a work all by itself. Because once again, the reason that we are to go after the person and go after his voice and not his promises is because when you go after him, the voice of God, he makes you. He makes you again like a potter that had a broken vessel. He pushes you back on the wheel. He pushes you back on the wheel to manifest his will in you. He pushes you back on the wheel and starts reforming you. He begins taking your broken pieces and putting you back together again on the inside of you. He begins restructuring and redirecting certain things within you because God knows what you're capable of. If his hand is not upon you, he knows what you're capable of. If you don't hear his spirit, somebody shout, God, make me. Before you were signed to make me. Before you released me, make me. Before you were right me, make me. Before you direct me out into the world, make me again. So it says, I will make you. You. I want to make you. Watch this now. And then we get on to fishes of men. You want to know why? Because fish men if you haven't fished me? Come on, unless you draw me all the way in, how can I draw them in if you haven't drawn me all the way in? If I got certain parts of myself hanging outside the boat, how you gonna use me to draw them to you if I still got issues all hanging out in the wind and I haven't been girded up in my mind? If I'm still a less waiting to happen, you gotta do something in me, Jesus. If you ever don't use me to fix man, shout Jesus and me. So we have the pastor zombies, and then we have pastors, right? How would you like to be operated on by a bleeding surgeon? I'm just saying, before you take me under, you need to deal with your own issue. Before you cut me open, you got to make sure that you have at least mended up yourself. I don't know about you, but I don't think I would lay on the operating table of a bleeding physician. Physician power. Some of you right now, because you're not convinced of the person and directorship of Jesus Christ, you keep throwing yourself up on the table of bleeding physicians. Listen to them. They're bleeding. If you just listen, you'll find out they're bleeding, which is why, even though they've now gotten ordained, they're still bleeding. They still got issues for which they've never really recovered. They're bleeding, and you put yourself on the people who are bleeding. Connecting the people for mentorship who are bleeding. And I think that it's not unreasonable for you to say physician. I'll go through the process if God ordained you to take me through it. But first, heal thyself. Well, now watch this now. This is where all these spiritual infections are coming from. You wounded, they're bleeding. You want to know what happened when somebody's blood get in your wound? Now you're infected with their mindset. Now you're infected with their spirit. Now you're infected with their issues. Now you're infected with their agendas. Why? Because they're bleeding, trying to move, trying to mend you. And you got to realize that just like in the natural world, surgical procedures that take place up here, it's got to be a sterile environment. Look, somebody tell them, if you're going to deal with me, it's got to be a sterile environment. Come on, tell somebody, if you're going to deal with me, if you want to wash your hands, if you're going to deal with me, you're going to wash your hands. I got to see that your hands are clean. I got to see that your mouth is covered. I got to see. Hey, you don't know that the doctor hasn't had clean hands and a covered mouth. They covered over their mouth. They got a door over their mouth. Why? Because I don't want to say nothing that will impact your spirit. Let one of my children do what your son did. Oh, let my daughter do what your daughter did. And all of a sudden, that's over me. That's over me. And I got the mic and I can tell where your son really was. And I can tell what your daughter really did. I got the mic. But then I got to be disciplined. And I got to be temperate. And I got to be an intercessor. But if it was my daughter, you would have called the whole church. If it was my daughter. Who does this? Who does this? You don't choose to do this one day. You don't open a box of Cracker Jacks or open a fortune cookie and just decide based on the word that's down in there to do this. One must be called. Because the only way you handle the variables of your purpose is that you got to be called, and you got to be processed, and you got to be anointed, and you got to be broken, and you got to be healed, and you got to be delivered. Got this. there's always this paradox with some people who you expect to be loyal. Right? Hearts have totally removed from you. As they said, it comes to stare at you. Like you don't know. And you gotta still say, hey, I know you think you deal with the devil. I love you. Hey, sister. Right? I know you can talk about it like that. And that's why your family won't come to church. And I love you. I'm for you. I'm with you. Right? Come on. Set a meeting. I'll be here for you this week. What else would I do with my life other than spending here meeting with you? What else is there to do? Like the prophet told Gehazi, did not my spirit go with you?
Come on.
Right? And you know, you develop enough discipline and trust with God, and He begins to let you hear the issues of men's hearts. But then you got to sit here stoic, like you ain't heard nothing. And I'm telling you, walking in love and walking in the grace of your assignment, especially pastoral, makes you look like the most naive person walking the planet Earth. It does. Then you got your Peters around you who want you to chop off ears. That's what you tell me you are. We over there, I'm here. I took people in the line, right? I'm over there, that's how I'm here. I realize now I'm not naive, I didn't mean it as strategic. Because I learned that people have to look into the face of Father God through their ministers. You have to see hope in the eyes of those who are working for their development and warring for their soul's disposition. Because if you don't see hope down here, you won't believe hope coming from up there. You understand that? Who does this? I tell you who does it. Sons of God. Because one element of us walking before God and being led by the Spirit is that we are out of our mind and out of ourselves and completely given to our assignment. What is the reward of doing it? Obedience.